my friend.
Thank you, brother. That's to you. And I'll be right there with you on your drink to Eddie.
I appreciate that.
Everyone knows I'm on Team Thor. It's no secret.
I appreciate that, my friend.
Take his head off, please.
I will do. I'll
All right, what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick Strength and Power. I've got a couple of interesting stories for you guys today. As you guys might have seen, the first story in today's video is a Hafthor, Bjornsson, and Larry Wheels collab story. So I was watching one of Larry's latest videos where he did this collab with Hafthor, and obviously Thor is still prepping for that fight with Eddie Hall. We're all looking forward to that. That's going to be September of this year. Coming up very soon, and it's cool to see Thor collabing with Larry. They're two of my favorite guys to watch. I don't really watch a whole lot of bodybuilding channels. I don't really watch any bodybuilding channels, to be honest. I watch some Juji Mufu. I watch some Larry Wheels stuff. I'll watch some of Thor stuff. That's about really the extent of what I watch. But anyway, it was cool to see that collab. But this clip at the end of the video caught my attention. I'm going to roll that clip again for you guys here.
Thank you, brother. That's to you. And I'll be right there with you on your drink to Eddie.
I appreciate that.
Everyone knows I'm on Team Thor. It's no secret.
I appreciate that, my friend.
Take his head off, please.
I will do. I'll
So Larry says in that clip that he's Team Thor. There's no secret about it. And that he wants Thor to take Eddie's head off, please, as he says it in the clip. So I thought that was interesting. And it made me kind of wonder. I wonder if there's any beef between Larry and Eddie. Something that I had never heard anything about up until now. This kind of interesting little back and forth makes me wonder. And I know that Larry and Eddie have collabed on videos multiple times in the past, so that would be interesting if there's a little bit of bad blood there. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I found this clip to be interesting, but are we reading too much into it, or is there something there? I think there's something there. Now, the next story that I have for you guys today is a guest posing story. This time, Derek Lunsford. So Derek Lunsford is one of the more popular guys in 212. He was runner-up, and then he was fourth this year, or last year, I should say, 2020. He slipped to fourth place. But a lot of people still think that he's got the structure and he's got the size to be the next 212 Mr. Olympia champion. He's got a very pleasing aesthetic physique. A lot of people really enjoy his posing. Small waist, V-taper. But he's been slipping on conditioning the past couple of years. Now, the big change that he's made for 2021 is he's working with Hani Rambod, who is also the coach of Phil Heath. Hani Rambod, arguably one of the best, if not the best, professional bodybuilding coaches there is. So this big shift of Derek working with Hani now this year was something that always interested me, to see if Derek kind of unlocks his full potential this year, if this is the year where Derek wins. So that's partially why this guest posing was interesting to me. You kind of get to see where Derek is at in his offseason, even though right now it's really probably about time to start dialing things in for most of these guys that are doing the Olympia. You're 19 weeks out, 18 weeks out from the Olympia at this point. It's getting close, and I know that recently Derek was saying he weighed over 250 pounds, so he was getting pretty big, pretty heavy in the offseason. So I was looking at these photos, and then I looked at this video also. These are all courtesy of Stage Time Photo, Jeff Robinson on Instagram. So I was looking through these, and I think really the main takeaway that I got from it is it looks like Derek has put on some size under the tutelage of Hani Rambod. He looks significantly bigger. To me, it looks like he's made some significant improvements from a size standpoint. But again, what we really want to see from Derek on the Olympia stage is good conditioning. Now, the other thing that really stood out to me when we're talking about size and improvements is something that a lot of people criticized with Derek for a while was his legs. His legs didn't match his upper body. He had a crazy back, crazy upper body. Most of his upper body poses look insane, but his legs were something that were always a bit behind. So when I'm looking at these pictures and I'm looking at these videos thinking that Derek looks like he's put on size, I'm thinking specifically in the lower body. So just imagine a bigger, more balanced, more well-proportioned version of Derek comes to the 212 Olympia stage this year, and he nails the conditioning. I said back when Flex Lewis retired from 212, I thought that Derek would be the heir to the throne one day, but he really needs to nail that conditioning to do that. And the question is going to be, will that be this year? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Now, next up in the news, if you guys missed it, Patrick Moore won the 2021 California Pro, also won the Olympia qualification. So he will be going to this year's Mr. Olympia. So congratulations again to Patrick. I do think it was a well-deserved victory. We predicted it right after prejudging. I thought it was a pretty safe bet as soon as we saw Patrick in that top call-out at prejudging, the way they were comparing the other guys. It looked like Patrick was going to be the clear winner after prejudging. Now, that being said, a lot of people think I've got beef with Patrick now, or at least Patrick has beef with me, they think, because Patrick put up a story in which he tagged me, and the caption is, "Who ain't conditioned?" and it's him holding up the sword in victory. We're cool. Me and Patrick are cool, guys. There's no beef between me and Patrick. Patrick is just, I'm assuming, giving me a hard time because I made a comment in one of the videos that I said he could have been sharper. I don't think that Patrick was off. I do think he was in good shape, and he was certainly one of the best conditioned guys in this lineup. But at the end of the day, I do think this was probably a 90 to 95% version of Patrick. I think a lot of people would agree with that. And I think Patrick would probably agree he needs to be a little tighter at the Olympia. But overall, like I said, at the end of the day, that's my only criticism of Patrick, is that I think he could have been a little bit tighter. I think Patrick looked fantastic here. In fact, I saw this really good post by Train for Eating on Instagram, showing side-by-side pictures of the improvement that Patrick Moore had made in specific poses between last year's New York Pro and this year's Cali Pro. So you see these side-by-sides, and you can see Patrick really did make significant improvements to his physique. His conditioning was significantly better than in New York. He was significantly bigger than in New York. You can see a significant more level of fullness and roundness, even like in the first pose, this most muscular here. His legs look bigger, his arms look rounder, his delts look fuller, but his conditioning looks tighter in these shots. You can just clearly tell that he's made improvements in a lot of areas, and conditioning was one of them as well. So I didn't mean that critique to be overly critical, because I still think Patrick was, I think he was far and away the winner. I mean, he blew these guys away to me. You know, in these pictures, you got the front lat spread. You can see some of the back poses in there as well. I think Patrick made some significant improvements to his back. I think, for me, I really noticed significant improvements specifically to his legs. That was one of the things that really jumped out to me again. I do appreciate that we got a free live stream for the Cali Pro. I do think that was really cool. But I will say again, I think the lighting at that live stream for the people watching at home was really, really poor. It was really, really dark lighting, and it was really zoomed out from the competitor. So it was really hard to see like a really good idea of how these guys looked. You could get a general idea from the live stream, but it wasn't until I started to look at pictures where I got a really good idea of how these guys actually looked. But the live stream was really dark, man. I think it really didn't give these guys the sharper look that they could have had, and I think the lighting had a lot to do with that. That would be my main critique of the Cali show, but also the main positive, I think, was the fact they gave us a live stream for free. It just wasn't really advertised anywhere. But yeah, to answer the question, do I have beef with Patrick? Absolutely not. I love the fact that he won the show. I think he deserved the win. He looked fantastic. And as you can see in these pictures on the Train for Eating Instagram page, it's clear as day. Patrick made significant improvements between the last show and this show. Patrick, to me, was the clear winner at prejudging and the clear winner at final. So to answer the question, no, we don't have beef. But maybe he disagrees with my conditioning comment, and that's okay. That's what bodybuilding's all about, differences of opinion. But again, shout out to Patrick Moore. Now, the next story that I have for you guys today, the Toronto Pro Super Show. It has officially been postponed until December 3rd. Now, this is an important piece of information that I wanted to report for you guys, because up until this announcement, the Toronto Pro was tentatively scheduled to be within the Olympia qualification window for this year. Now that the show is in December, that means the Toronto Pro this year will obviously no longer be a qualifier for this year's Mr. Olympia. So a show like the Toronto Pro, typically a show that a lot of guys try to do to nab that Olympia qualification, but now it has officially been postponed. And in December, will officially fall outside of the qualification window for this year's Olympia. So I just wanted to add that report to this video because that is one less show and one less opportunity this summer where we're going to see guys compete for the Olympia qualification. So one less opportunity this year. Now, the final story that I have for you guys today, the latest physique update from Keone Pearson. I had a lot of people sending this to me via DMs. They're like, man, how does Keone look so huge already? He looks gigantic. And that's one of the things that has really impressed me the most about Keone in his transition to 212, which he has already done very successfully. He already won his first ever 212 Pro debut at Chicago last year. But the way that he transitioned from classic to 212 so seamlessly, and was able to put on that size to make that transition. But he didn't sacrifice like anything. He didn't sacrifice any of his structure. He didn't sacrifice conditioning. He didn't sacrifice his lines. He put on that size, and it's just quality size on a quality frame. But yeah, this recent story from Keone was just one of those updates. A lot of people are sending this to me and saying, wow, look how big Keone looks. And you know that even though he's that big, he's still not going to have a gut. He's going to have a nice tight midsection, nice V-taper, vacuum pose, all that. So this is just one of those ones that a lot of people sent to me. They're like, man, he just looks so impressive, and I got to agree. And he's what? I don't even know now. What, 8 weeks out? Are we 8 weeks out now from the Chicago Pro at the end of July? About 8 weeks out, maybe a little less. The guy certainly looks ready to me for his second go at the 212 Chicago Pro and his second attempt for an Olympia qualification in the 212 category. So that's going to wrap it up for the video today, guys. I hope you did, in fact, enjoy it. Please give it a thumbs up if you did enjoy it. Please subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed already. As always, I love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Nick Strength and Power, signing out.